thank you for joining us right here on SIBN Atlanta. My name is Marcus Gillette, and today is Author Spotlight with Ms. DJ Washington. You guys stand by for the new book release, Tie Through Grandma's Eyes. We'll be right back after this. SIBN Atlanta. That's right. The place for the news for those on the go and really need to know. If you would like to have an interview on SIBN Atlanta and you are a member of SCGPW at www.we-support-SelectUSATV.com, then email us at globalcoverage@selectusatv.info or call our studios at 404-910-5019. If you would like to have an interview on SIBN Atlanta's news, you must be a member of our media club, SCGPW. Simply visit www.we-support-SelectUSATV.com. And now to the news on SIBN Atlanta. All right, we're back here. Live in the studios with DJ Washington. How are you doing, Miss Washington?
I'm doing great, Marcus Gillette, and it's so good to be in your presence again.
Yes, it's good to be in your presence. Listen, everybody may not know that this is not your first go around. Share with the audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I started writing books years ago, but I put it into action in 2009 when I wrote my first book, So Others Will Know You're Never Alone, based on a true story. My second book was They Rose Above It All, also based on a true story, of which I made a play out of it, had it produced, and it ran 4 times. I also used the students at my school that I just retired from, Stevenson High School in Stone Mountain, Georgia, where I utilized the students there who wanted to showcase their talents.
Wow. And I remember the play. SIBN covered it a couple of times, the original play, and then, of course, the sequel. It was second to none. Very well done. A lot of hard work. Where do you find all the energy to do all of this stuff?
It has to come from God above. I can do nothing by myself, but He allowed me to write these books and also get great help to have them produced and directed. Mm-hmm. And so I'm happy that I was able to do that.
Now, this book, as in all of your books, are with a purpose. I like the reason why you write books. You're writing to solve problems. You're writing to bring lights to issues that may be hidden. But tell us a little bit about the book Tie Through Grandma's Eyes.
Well, at the age of 2, my now 5-year-old grandson, his mom started noticing changes in him. Besides him being a hyperactive child, he was diagnosed with ADHD, mm-hmm. attention deficit hyperactivity, mm-hmm. and also ODD, oppositional defiance disorder. Mm-hmm. The doctors initially said prior to 2 that he was just a stubborn child, mm-hmm. but we noticed that there was something more than that since we were around him more often. Mm-hmm. Now, if you take him, they put him on medication, and if you take him out somewhere, because of him being well trained and, taught to do the right things, you would think there was nothing wrong with him. Mm-hmm. But with us seeing him each and every day, we noticed the difference. And so we're seeking the help for him and other children like Ty. Mm-hmm. But through Grandma's eyes, I can really see that eventually God is going to get this child off of medication, and he's going to be fine again.
Now, also the purpose of this book is to get the listening audience to share in what they may be experiencing along these 2 diagnoses. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And tell us, how would it help for those who are listening who have their children diagnosed with the same thing? How would it help? Do we need to form a support group? Do they need to reach out to you on Facebook, on Instagram? How would the support group help at this point?
Well, anyone who knows me on Facebook or my Twitter page, Washington VJ,
Ready, set, go.
That's right, DCC. Are you ready for the hardcore motivation, daily inspiration, and sure up your spiritual foundation on DCC? If you want more on the go and you need to know, www.415-96radio.com. Join us there as we cheer you on to the finish line of life. This is not your mama show. This show is for the new generation of those young men and women who know and realize that I've done enough foolish things, I've made enough mistakes, and now it is my time to accept the philosophy of DCC. That is, I am the common denominator to every situation. Join me at www.415-96radio.com. That's www.415-96radio.com. And follow me on Twitter. You're listening to the sound of the Coach's Corner. I's got my eyes on you, and I see you done sat down on the future. I need you to get up, stop looking back, and move forward.
What you need, what you need, what you need, what you need.
All right, everybody, we're back here, man. Thank you so much, Miss Washington, and we got our little assistant here. What's her name? Let's go on and give her a shout out while we're here.
Desiree Hines.
Desiree is in the house, y'all, all the way from Daytona. That's what's up. But listen, talk to the people a little bit about what the mother has struggled with you as a grandmother has struggled with these two diagnoses.
Well, this little boy from 2, when we noticed that he was so very stubborn, like the doctor said, but there was nothing we could do to make him behave when he was 2 years old, unless we put his grandfather, Arthur Washington, who's, coming from military background. He kind of was able to get him to do the right things. But his mom, even when Ty started school, kindergarten this year, and now he goes to public school, he told us that, I'm going to school one more day and that's it. I don't like school. We noticed that change really triggers his illness. It makes him act out, and he kicks and fights his mom. He talks back. He's very defiant.
Yes.
And so that's what we're trying to get the help for, because with the medication, it does calm him down, but prior to medication, he's really a different child.
Wow. Well, first of all, you are to be commended because, as I said to the listening audience, you always write books to help solve a problem. That's been your repertoire that I know of. And the play and the other things that you have done speaks to that. But we want the listening audience, those of you that have children that have been diagnosed, some may not have had a diagnosis, and they're wondering, what in the world is wrong with my child? You know what I'm saying? So if a parent has a child that is going through some of these same symptoms, what would be the pathway for them to try to have the proper diagnosis?
Well, one of the things is to hook up with other parents that have children that are going through this illness. And we do recognize it as an illness, but we're still trying not to label him because they also said he was bipolar, but we refuse to receive that. If you get other parents who go through the same thing and share your ideas and theirs, you may be able to get some help. We do know that any change triggers his illness. So we try to make sure that we don't fuss at him, we don't punish him so much as we used to do prior to the age of 2, because when we do that, he doesn't take it well. But we try to teach him when he does wrong that he has to understand that some things are going to change and this is how you need to react or respond to it.
That's
not
good.
the way he has been responding.
But I think you brought up a very valid point. So many times we see all of these symptoms in our kids, and the first thing we want to do is rush to the training or the punishing or whatever the case may be, and it really points to the fact that there is a greater issue with mental illness, and we've not been given credence to that in the public eye, so to speak. It's a stigma attached. But some of your greatest actors and entertainers have had illnesses. And I think because they kept it in the dark, you know what I'm saying, their lives were terminated early or they did not fare well. But by you bringing this out, what you're doing is normalizing the possibilities that these things do exist and that we have to find some alternative ways. Part of what you do as a minister is pray and, of course, keep a peaceful and calm atmosphere. How does that help our kids?
Well, you have to teach them early on. And with him being 5 years old, even prior to the 5-year-old mark, I used to take him up in what I call my prayer room, and I would make him get on his knees, tell him to, and have him look me right in the eyes. And I would explain to him what he's doing, what he shouldn't be doing, and let him know the consequences of his actions. So it's not just that we just say he's ill and he shouldn't do his part to be a good child.
Right.
I would explain it to him and ask if he understood what I was saying. He would always let me know yes. And he would sit there very quietly and listen. So when we come down after we pray and go down from the prayer room, he seemingly is a better or different child. So I know that prayer helps. And
well, you know about prayer, though. Look, Ms. Washington, you know about prayer, though, because you have been through so many different situations with kids, if not your kids, your grandkids, and so you know the power of prayer. But for our listening audience, if you don't know the power of prayer, I mean, we suggest to you that you strongly pray about any difference or any abnormal situation within your kids.
That's right.
That's some good stuff, you know. So we're going to take a small commercial break. We're going to come back and tell people where they can get the book, how they can connect with you, and things of that sort. You're listening to SIBN Atlanta's Spotlight on the author V.J. Washington. My name is Marcus Sillette. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Responsible, accountable. Who taught you that? My daddy taught me that. That's right, the new book, all the way from Asheville, North Carolina, representing the legacy of Benny Lake, is Keenan Lake, the author of My Daddy Taught Me That, the book and the program for young men in Asheville, North Carolina, and throughout the region. Tune in to the program, the project, and the book at mydaddytaughtmethat.com. For more information, email lake@mydaddytaughtmethat.com or call 828-582-2261. That's 828-582-2261. mydaddytaughtmethat.com. Amazing.
All right, you guys, we are back here in the studios, SIBN Atlanta, talking with a fabulous author who writes with purpose now. She's not just writing books to get rich or writing books for fame and fortune, but she writes books to solve problems. V.J. Washington is in the house once again. Miss Washington, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Marcus.
Yes. We thank you so much. Listen, tell everybody where they can get this book, and we'll talk a little bit more about how to support, but tell everybody where they can get the book.
The book can be purchased from Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. Also, it was published through Trafford Publishing Company, Trafford, Trafford Publishing Company.
All right.
You can also get it off of my webpage, which is vjwashington.com.
VJ Washington, that's VJ Washington as it sounds, .com, and you can also connect with her on Facebook. Give them that Facebook information.
The Facebook information is Minister Vernita Washington.
All right, what about a phone number? Say there's a parent out there who's really struggling with a child and they need, do you have a phone number readily?
You can call me at 404-509-6485. 404-509-6485. 85.
All right, that's 404-509-6485. Let's talk a little bit. I like what you were talking about earlier when you talked about creating a normal environment for kids. I think that this may be a key right here. If you put prayer and that recipe for a normal environment, even temperament, I think you may be alluding to that for those adults that may be around that child. Even temperament, balanced meals, and just a peaceful environment. Talk about how that plays a part in anyone's healing, but more likely this particular child.
Besides my grandson taking medication for this illness, which they had to up it because every now and then it's as though he just gets used to it, and then he'll start acting out again. But since he started school, they had to up it a little bit,
right.
And it seems to do well. But we try to keep away the all of the sweets, even though we give him some, especially when he does well in school and he behaves, he listens. We try to give him a candy cane or something of that sort every now and then. But mostly we want to keep away the sweets from my grandson, and other students or children like him. But his mom, we try to give her a little relief on the weekends from Friday through Sunday because she has them all through the week, and she also has a 3-year-old. So he is a handful. So he understands too that he's going to grandma and granddad's house, and he tries to stay calm during the week so that he can come to our home, but we don't just allow him to do things wrong. You know, we make sure that he does the right things.
And that's where I think you have the delicate touch, and this is what you're sharing with the listening audience, is that you're receiving the child, you're caring for the child, you're ministering to the child, but at the same time you're holding the child, teaching the child personal responsibility for his actions.
That's correct.
And that is commendable, because a lot of parents will say, well, hey, you know, he's just got a disorder and that's why he's the way he is. But what you're saying is that, listen, we have to do all of those things, but at the same time we still have to teach him to be accountable for his actions. Man, that is a lot. Now, what do you say to those parents who say, you know, well, my child has an illness and I don't have time to do all of that?
You have to take the time. You really have to understand that the child didn't ask to be here. My grandson often says, well, I'm trying. I'll do better. You know, at least he realizes that he has this illness, but he knows that he's got to do better with his behavior than he does do.
Right.
So as long as they know, and you take the time to be, you know, share with them the consequences or their what could happen to them when they're doing the wrong thing, such as time out, or, you know, they can't have exactly what they want when they want it. You just have to be very patient and mostly deal with the child from their standpoint. I get down on my knees, talk to my grandson, just to get on his level so he could see I really understand. And he knows through grandma's eyes he's really a good child.
This is a great, easy read for parents who want to share. So many times we suffer alone because we do not share information, and I think that's what your effort is here today, is to share information, to let parents know. If you recognize some of the symptoms that's talked about in this book and that we're talking about today, you definitely want to get a diagnosis, but at the same time you want to couple that with the comfort of knowing how other parents have dealt and grandparents have dealt with these varying issues. And so I want to let everybody know it's a great read, it's an easy read, it's a hardback book, but at the same time it's not very, very thick. You're known for writing great books, getting right to the point. I have to give you that. But we want everybody to go to www.vjwashington.com to purchase your copy. Now, we don't want to tell them the price of the book, but at the same time, if somebody wants to give this as a gift, what do you suggest? This would make a great gift.
It would, and you can also get it in soft cover. That's just my hardback.
Oh, okay,
cover.
okay.
But it's very reasonable online. I even purchased a couple from Amazon.com when the company had not sent me my books yet. So it's a great gift to share with other parents or grandparents, or even the students. If you sit down, or I say students, but the children, if you sit down and read to them and let them know what their condition is all about, because I put a lot of information in that would help parents realize.
I was looking at the medicines. Alone, and at first I want to commend you and Mom. But these medicines are very serious medicines. Talk a little bit about that.
They are. My daughter, when she noticed the difference in the different medications that they were given to him, what it was causing him to do, he was fighting her before 5 years old. He was kicking. He was fighting his sister. He was fighting at school where the psychiatrists, the teachers, the principals had to try to compose him. So she went back to the doctor and said, no, I think this is too much for my son. I mean, she stayed on top of it, and she still does. So whenever he comes out of character, something different, she goes right back to that doctor and say, I think you need to change this medication because it's not right for him.
Well, you know, she's taken after you. She's very proactive. She doesn't sit and wait for somebody else to assess something. She goes right after the issue. But that's what parenting is, really. I mean, you know, part of the situation that we're facing in today's culture is that a lot of parents don't want to parent, and it could be because they're having behavior issues from their child. But I think what you're doing today is not only you're telling them about the book, but you're giving them some encouragement that you've got to be proactive. If you see something, say something.
Amen.
Let's go to a quick commercial break. We'll come back and wrap things up. You're listening to the sounds of SIBN Atlanta. My name is Marcus Sillette. I'm sitting here with the author, V.J. Washington. We'll be right back after the break.
That's right. The Select USA TV Collabo Media Groups and partners worldwide for a limited time has opened up its membership to the general public. Now you can collaborate worldwide with media conglomerate SIBN Television and Radio. If you want to join free of charge for this limited time offer, then visit www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. That's right. We have programs, benefits, service, and so much more to offer to our members exclusively at SCGPW. That's right. Visit www.WeSupportSelectUSATV.com. That's www.WeSupportSaletTV.com.
All right, we're wrapping things up here with Miss V.J. Washington. The name of the book is T-Y through Grandma's Eyes. We want you to go to www.vjwashington.com for your personal copy. Are you going to be doing any book signings soon?
I'm getting ready to set one up, so I just don't have the date exactly, not just yet, but I will be doing signings.
Yeah, so you gotta, now, is this Twitter here? Twitter? Washington V?
Yes.
All right, now, but Instagram, go ahead and give them the Instagram. Do you have the Instagram? We have that Instagram?
Not yet.
Okay. Listen, connect with us. Let's give them an email just in case. Let's give them an email so that we can, in case they want to connect. Go ahead and give them your email. You can say
My email address is vjwashington6060 at gmail.com.
All right. So if you have any questions about the book, if you have any questions about this particular diagnoses for your children, if you have any questions about support group, is there a support group that you know of available for this in the Atlanta area?
Not yet. I'm working on it. I have a psychiatrist that I'm dealing with, getting ready to work with right now. And I do intend to set up a foundation because I did it for the book. They rose above it all. And I give a scholarship to a student every year at Stevenson High School.
Okay.
I intend to keep that up. And I want to do a foundation for my grandson.
Listen, if you want to connect with this author, if you're noticing some challenging issues with your children, or if you have a child that has been diagnosed already, you want to be a part of V.J. Washington's support group, by all means, visit us at www.vjwashington.com. Again, give them the email one more time, Ms. Washington, so they can email you just in case. And, of course, the phone number is 404-509-6485. Give them the email one more time.
That email address is vjwashington 6060@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for us. SIBN Atlanta is in the house. VJ Washington was on the microphone, and the book is TY Through Grandma's Eyes. You want to get your personal copy. And let me say this, when you support others, what you need for your life becomes a reality, because now you're sowing into someone else. I'll see you next time. Whatever you do, take care of yourself.
Take care. Thank you, Marcus.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
Ustedes están escuchando SIBN, transmitido por Select USA TV. Síganos en Twitter @SelectUSATV o visítenos en www.41596radio.com.